Bruce Wayne's life follows the same path of his Prime Earth counterpart, until the murder of his parents. On his Earth, Joe Chill dropped his gun to search for Martha's pearls, and Bruce, in his grief, used this opportunity to pick up the gun and shoot him to death. He would spend the next several years of his life traveling around the world, learning ways to fight and kill from assassins and mercenaries he came across. Realizing he needed a symbol to strike terror into the hearts of these criminals, he was inspired by a bat he shot at after it broke through his window. Within his first year as the Masked Crusader, he attacked a party attended by the corrupt rich of Gotham who protected the criminals of the city, and he burned them all alive. Following that, the city erupted into chaos, and he quickly killed several prominent crime bosses to instill order, including Carmen Falcone, Tony Zucco, and Oswald Cobblepot. He also killed the Red Hood at Ace Chemicals, ridding his world of a possible Joker. However, this gained the attention of GCPD, Lieutenant Jim Gordon, who thought that Batman had crossed a line in his war on crime. Gordon built a bat signal with a concealed magnet within. He was able to trap Bruce and had the police raid his concealed arsenals. Unfortunately, Gordon had used Wayne Enterprises technology to set up his plan, which Bruce used to disable the magnet, kill Gordon's men on the roof, and explode the fake arsenals to kill GCPD cops he viewed as corrupt. Grim Knight then tied up Gordon and made him watch as he crashed two highly explosive blimps into both Arkham Asylum and Blackgate Penitentiary, killing every criminal in the city. He would then scare Mayor Harvey Dent through radiation in order to get him to allow Wayne Enterprises tech to be planted throughout Gotham to begin a mass surveillance of the entire city and take control of anything to wage his war without needing to be there. Gotham thus had become a much safer place under Batman's ruthless surveillance. His butler Alfred Pennyworth, who had grown disgusted with his methods, left him, despite having a bomb implanted in his neck installed by Bruce that could kill him. But Bruce allowed him to walk away, and turned his attention to Gordon, who hadn't been seen in the last 6 weeks. Before leaving, Alfred told him he loved him. His show of force had however allowed Gordon to realize that Bruce was Batman. Jim convinced Mayor Dent to allow the authorities to raid Wayne's home with the aid of the FBI. He disabled the bugs and bat sentries Bruce had planted throughout GCPD. They were able to be deactivated because Alfred gave them the kill codes. Gordon then proceeded to subdue and arrest Bruce after he pulled a gun on him. Originally, Bruce tried pretending like he wasn't a Batman, but Gordon didn't fall for it. Bruce wasn't even trying though. In a real fight, he would have destroyed Gordon. But that's not how this story ends. The Batman Who Laughs came to his Earth and recruited him. Having been recruited by the Batman Who Laughs, the Grim Knight served as his second in command and followed his plan to infect the Prime Universe. Arriving at Arkham Asylum on the Prime Earth, the guards assumed he was the original Batman, and once they turned around, are immediately killed. The Grim Knight and the Batman Who Laughs are there to kill some of Prime Earth's villains. When Mr. Freeze comments that Batman is acting more brutal than before, the Grim Knight burns him alive. This just proves, never speak up when the Grim Knight is around. He will kill you. He then walks to Joker's cell. The Grim Knight smiles at killing the clown prince of crime, but steps aside and allows the Batman Who Laughs to do it instead. The Grim Knight meets back up with the Batman Who Laughs in his lair after being tasked to kill Gordon. They want to use him to initiate the Last Laugh plan, but the Grim Knight refuses to, and reveals that Gordon in his world was the only part of Gotham he was not able to control. Having been hunted down by Commissioner Gordon on his world, the Grim Knight decided to hunt Gordon down, mentioning he has special hounds for his hunt. The Grim Knight finds Gordon and gives him a head start before unleashing a pack of Robins to hunt him down. After cornering Gordon, the Grim Knight reveals that these Robins were all versions of Gordon's son, James, just to torment Gordon even more. Pulling out a large knife that the GCPD made for Gordon on his world, the Grim Knight laughs as Gordon dives into a nearby river to get away. He sends the Robins to track him down once more. Later on, the Grim Knight heads to the Batcave to dispatch all the defenses, but is cornered by both Commissioner Gordon and James. What's cool is they're both wearing Batman Beyond suits. I like how they're trying to connect the past to the future. In the fight, the Grim Knight gets the upper hand and begins choking Gordon. While fighting, he dumps a vial of toxin into the water. He begins talking about how part of the Batman Who Laughs plan is to infect everyone via the water supply and begins drowning Gordon, mocking Gordon's efforts to not drink the infected water. While drowning Gordon, James gets behind Grim Knight and stabs him in the shoulder several times. The Grim Knight fell unconscious due to the severity of his wounds. The last time we've seen him is during Perpetua's invasion of the Multiverse. Grim Knight returned alongside other dark multiverse versions of Batman, keeping guard over Castle Bat and setting up multiple tripwires. He has fought the Prime Earth Batman as well. And that is the complete history of the Grim Knight. I hope you guys liked this video. What do you think of the Grim Knight? Him picking up the gun is one of the most normal things a Dark Multiverse Batman has done so far. If you like more normal Dark Batman, like Owlman for example, you will like this character for sure. Fun fact, he is based on the fear of Bruce using guns as a primary weapon, which is clearly seen with this character. If you learned something new today, or just like the characters, please subscribe, it really helps me out. We just hit 12,000 subs and I can't thank you guys enough. Comment down below what characters you want to see me cover in a longer format. It can be DC, Marvel, or even Star Wars. If you would like to support me even more and my channel, go check out my Who is Marvel series where I post every single day, or my Who is DC series which I also post every single day. They're on the screen right now, just hit one of those boxes. Hit the playlist. Please. 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 They're really good, I promise. All art and story excerpts are owned by DC Comics Warner Brothers.